Hello everybody. Today we're going to take a look at Unit 1.1b at WAMAP, and this involves adding and subtracting whole numbers, decimals, and negatives. And this lesson is rounding decimals. So we just learned about how to round numbers, and there is a sheet in Canvas that will help you. This is also 1.1b, and this is in the support class Canvas shell. So if you go there, you can click this link and make your own copy to keep in Google Drive, or you can just read this one off the screen. And this one is a slideshow. So you can go through and work on some practice problems that explains how to read decimals. And then these are the most commonly used units for these 7 units are the ones you should memorize at a minimum. And then there are more, which are on a separate practice sheet. But if you are new to this, memorize these 7 and make sure you understand the difference between tenths with a TH on the end and tens with a Z sound written with an S, hundredths and hundreds and thousands and thousandths. So this side, they end in a TH with an S, so it has a kind of an S sound. And over here, these all end in a Z sound, even though it's written with an S. So ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Those are on the left. And then to the right of this decimal point, we have tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So that'll be a really important cue or clue to use to round the number correctly. All right, let's take a look at WAMAP and look at the problem. All right, we're asked to round 0.338 to the nearest hundredth. So this can also be read 338 thousandths, right? Because the 8, the last number, the 8 is in the thousandths column. So 338 thousandths is one way to read it. The other way is 0.338. So we're going to round that to the nearest hundredth. So let's take a look at the tablet. And I've copied out the problem here. We're going to round 0.338 to the nearest hundredth. So you need to know where the hundredths column is. And if you check that chart, you'll see it's this column here. It's the second column, 2 places to the right of the decimal point. And the rule is to look at the number on that number's immediate right. And if that number on the immediate right is 5 or higher, then this number goes up by 1, right? It increments by 1. So this 3 will become a 4. So to round that to the nearest hundredth, we're going to say 0.34. And this hundredth also tells us how long our answer will be. So this is 34 hundredths. We had 338 thousandths. We were rounding to the nearest hundredth. So we got this 3 became a 4. Because it's next to this 8, which is 5 or more. So 0.34 or 34 hundredths is the answer to this question. If we had been rounding to the tenths column, the nearest tenth, we would underline the 3 in the 10th column, and then on the immediate right is a 3. So there would be no change to this number, and if we were rounding to the nearest tenth, it would be 0.3. Let's take a look at another problem. This one is round 0.38306 to the nearest 100,000th. Okay, so 100,000th is 1 place further away than I just told you usually have to know. So we can add that right now. Or is it 2 places over? I think it's 2 places over. So let me write this down. This is 0.38306 to the nearest 10,000th. No, nearest 100,000th. Okay, let's take a look and see how that would work. So for this one, we have the tenths column here. The 3 is in the tenths. So 0 is in the ones column, the decimal point. 3 in the tenths column. 8 in the hundredths column. 3 in the thousandths column. 0 in the 10,000ths column, and 6 in the 100,000ths column. So if we were to, this is the number we're looking at, right? The 6 is in the 100,000ths column. So we don't have a number written here, but you know, from math rules tell us we can add a trailing 0. There's a number called a trailing 0. And a trailing 0 is like the opposite of this 0 here, which is a leading 0. Leading zeros and trailing zeros do not change the value of an expression. So we can affix our own trailing 0 here, and this is the number we would use to decide whether or not this 6 gets rounded up or left alone. So this is the column they want us to round to. We can assume this would be a 0 because they didn't tell us otherwise. And so to round to the nearest 100,000ths, we look at the 6 and we ask ourselves, is this number 5 or higher? And no, it is not. If the number is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, the underlying number will stay the same, and all the other numbers, the numbers on the right of that number, drop away. So this number is already rounded to the nearest 100,000ths. So we have 38,306 100,000ths. So that's kind of a mouthful to read. 0.38306 is another way to read this, and this would be the answer you put in at WAMAP. Okay, and up here we had 0.34 or 34 hundredths. Let's take a look at the answers at WAMAP. We said 0.34 for this one, 0.34, awesome. And then for this 0.38306, we said it was the same, and it is 0.38306. So if you I guess, hang on. I was going to try and suggest trying a different one. Let's try 0.34. And you can try a similar question, okay? And then this one we also had 0.3, oops, 306. Okay. And go ahead and try a similar question, see how well you do. So, and watch for the column you're supposed to look at. In this one, nearest 10th, that's where the 7 is. And nearest 100th, I think this is the same as it was the first time. That's the second number there. Second, two places to the right of the decimal point. So give those a try if you run into trouble. Please message me through WAMAP. Just click the message instructor button. Pick a recipient, and that should be me. And then just click send, and I'll get that, and I will send you. I'll try to get back to you within 24 hours. All right, go ahead and give it a try. Good luck.